Well, welcome back everyone to day 12 of the Daily Bones Diary series. First of all, I know this ain't much, but from the last video I saw that there was 16 views, which was a big jump from all the other videos, I must say. And to that, I want to say thank you. I do want to start off by saying thank you for that. Again, I never really expected anyone to listen or anything or do anything in terms of interaction, but to at least know that some people may be watching it or just kind of tuning in for a little bit, it feels a little heartwarming. It does feel a little bit heartwarming in that regard. So thank you very much. Truly, thank you. Honestly, for today, just the same old thing, man. Just the same old thing. I guess this is day 2 of I'm just very tired. Get ready to hear a lot of those, but um, it's just. I mean, that's just simply it. What can you do? It's one of those days where you just gotta go in, you gotta just clock in, do what you have to do, clock out, and then move on with your life. You know what I'm saying? I will say though that it's very annoying. Going into like the middle of the swamp when you're like trying to push away trees and tall sawgrass, and then next thing you know, you just take a small look to your left, and you get like a look to your right, and then you get slammed right in the face with just tall blades of grass. It's the most annoying thing in the world. And then on top of that would be just accidentally losing your footing and then falling into a shrub that's full of thorns. That was fantastic. I had to pull out like 14 thorns from my body alone because it was such a bad tumble. But that's just how the cookie crumbles, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? Because some guys telling us to do it, we gotta do it because that's what we're paid to do. That's all I'm gonna say. But I all I would say, in all honesty, all I would say in all brutal honesty, is that if you're doing like land surveying or you're doing like landscaping or any sort of like outside sort of job, especially during the summertime, and you're in like the tropics area, or like you're just in like one of those lower states where it just gets crazy hot. Even Arizona's ridiculously hot. I see those videos all the time of like people cooking chicken eggs or like just eggs in general, like on like manhole covers, or like they're cooking up steak on their sidewalk. That's honestly the funniest thing I've ever seen. Funny and equally as depressing because it gets so ridiculously hot. And I mean, even everywhere right now it's just getting super, super hot. But I feel like for people that work outside, in terms of all those, days, nonstop, back to back, they either need to get paid more or they need to have a better schedule, in all honesty speaking. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you're getting paid more, then okay, yeah, I can endure the heat a little bit longer, because in the back of my head it's like, yes, I know that I'm getting paid by the hour, I'm getting paid a good amount. It kind of pushes you to keep going, right? Either that, or they have better like schedules where it's like, yes, I'm working in the heat, I will report early as hell in the morning, like super early in the morning, to get it done, so that way by the time the heat actually starts to kick up and everything, I am done. I don't have to do anything. I am good. I am set. You know what I mean? And then like the rest of the day, it would just be kind of like office work, where you're kind of like back into like the main sort of like base of operations, and you're just kind of doing your stuff. You know what I mean? I feel like that would be a more like stable sort of aspect to it, because it's just like, why do I have to first of all report to a building where they're going to keep me occupied for like an hour or two, and by the time I get to the destination that I'm supposed to be at, it's already like 9:30 or 10. It's already hot, and then it's just going to get hotter and hotter, because by the time noon comes around, it's already super hot. Like what do you want to do? The sun's kind of bearing down on everyone. you know it drains you. It really just kind of steals all your energy, and it's like, what am I supposed to do for the rest of the day? It's terrible. I feel like if you have like that early schedule where it's like, oh yes, I gotta be here, come in, like around like 6 in the morning, 6:30, get there by 7:30. Traffic usually isn't that super bad yet, because a lot of people work in 8 to 5, so they kind of hit the roads around 8 to 9. You know what I mean? You get to avoid a lot of traffic. You get there on time. It's still kind of cool out. You get everything done super quick. Bam, boom, and done. That's it. You still get your work done. You still get everything that's needed done. And then you can head on back and do the other important stuff that's required of you. You know what I'm saying? Like data processing and all that stuff. It's just, it makes a lot more sense like that. You know what I mean? But then again, then again, if everyone did it like that, then it wouldn't really be that helpful, because then like there would be certain places out there where just you know nothing's getting done. But whatever. I will say though, it does kind of make sense, right? Because then you won't have to deal with like those traffic stops, like when you're going back home or anything, and you see like those like kind of landscaping, people and everything. They're like just hogging up a part of the lane, with the cones out and everything, like redirecting traffic from like a 3 lane to 2 lanes. So you're kind of backing everyone up. You won't have to see that as much, because instead of happening at 3, p.m. on an afternoon, it's like already done by 8 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But then again, I digress. People have their own, or companies have their own set standards, but whatever. What needs to be said there. But it's all right. It's all right. It's day 12, August 20th at 6:40 p.m. Honestly, just chilling here after taking a shower and everything. Honestly, nothing much, besides, again, swamp day today. Pants are soaked full of mud and swamp water, and then shoes are ruined, letting those dry. Socks are ruined, washing those, other than that, it's just all right, that's the peak of the day. um not too bad, not too bad. Tomorrow, I think, for me, would be a lighter day, quote unquote. I could be wrong. I say a light day in the sense where, like, I won't be in the swamp tomorrow, thank God. But at the same time, it could be a very hectic day, because, we sometimes get, like, random surprise projects where it's like, oh, yes, here's this long-term project that you guys are doing. But then again, there's this client that's like, oh, yeah, we want you here instead. It's urgent because it needs to be done, like, double speed. It's like, well, then that really kind of ruins the day. But, who knows? Who knows? Let's see what happens, But, it's all right. It's all right. Just kind of biding my time, that's all I can say. Again, I apologize for this being another kind of short video, to say the least, but I'll probably make a better or longer one tomorrow or Friday. So I do want to say thank you guys, for tuning in whenever you guys can. I really do appreciate it. But honestly, I admit I'm a little bit more energetic today than yesterday, and that's because I know that tomorrow is the last day of the work week. So that's what's keeping me pumped, keeping me, activated, excited. Yesterday was just more so exhausting, because this is a long walk, long swamp, deep swamp areas, just nonstop BS, and then it was already like only halfway through the work week, so I was like, God, I got to deal with 2 more days, but here we are, 3rd day done, 1 more day to go, taking it one day at a time, just going about, easy peasy, what I'm saying? But other than that, that's all I have to say. And again, I apologize if I was rambling a lot, here and there. I truly do apologize, but I just simply want to say thank you, everyone, for tuning in, for listening, and for watching. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. And I just want to say that I hope you guys have a lovely day. Love you all.